In statistical analysis, population is the set of all items of interest. That is, the population is the entire group that we are looking at in a study. For example, let's say that we are interested in the average height of the members of your family. In this case, the group that we are interested in is your family, so the population consists of every member of your family. We use curly brackets to denote a set, and the elements of the set go inside. So, in this case, the population is the set containing each member of your family. Let's say, for this example, that your family consists of your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, and you. This then is the population. The number of elements in the population is called the population size and is denoted by a capital N. In this case, we can easily count and see that it is 5. So we write N equals 5. Let's look at a bigger example. Suppose we want to find the average amount of hours that people in Ohio sleep per night. In this case, the population would consist of everyone who lives in Ohio. This is obviously far too much for us to write, but we can imagine it as including everyone in Ohio. The population size is the amount of people in the population. In this case, the population of Ohio is 11.7 million, so there should be that many people in our population. If we wanted to actually know the average amount of hours that people in Ohio sleep per night, we would have to survey all 11.7 million people. This would not only cost far too much money, but it would take a great deal of time. Thus, it makes more sense to survey a sample of the population and use that to make estimates about the entire population. Let's come up with some examples of samples for question 1. A sample is a set that contains only elements from the population, so each sample here can contain only combinations of mom, dad, bro, sis, and you. So, for example, a sample could consist of mom and sis. Or we could have another sample that consists of you and dad. As you can see there, the order there is a little different than in the population. That's completely fine. What we cannot have is a sample that would be something like this. We cannot have a sample that contains, say, bro and teacher. This set contains the element teacher, which is not in the population. A sample can only contain elements that are in the population, so C is not a valid sample. For example 2, instead of surveying 11.7 million people, we could survey, say, 100,000 people. The sample then would be made up of the 100,000 people that we surveyed from the original population, so 100,000 people from Ohio. The sample size, which is the number of elements in the sample, then would be 100,000 because we surveyed 100,000 people. So little n equals 100,000.